Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Wanna get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it.
Good afternoon, dear faculty members. I hope you all doing. So we'll start for the day. Shashank sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I hope
Yes, sir. Yeah,
yeah,
you're
my voice is audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, yes.
You can take the sessions.
Sure. I'll start.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of our FDP program. So today we'll continue from what we have left off from the AI agents concepts, what we are discussing. And if you have any questions for me, or you have any doubts you want to answered by me, you can just put it in the chat. I'll be replying to that whenever when I stop the teaching flow. Okay, so we just post it in the group. Okay, so let me start the today's session. Okay. Let me share my screen. Questions as of now? Okay, great. So we'll start with the day 3, right? And let us move forward into what we are trying to understand. So we have actually discussed a few things over the couple of days, trying to understand first of all what is a Gen AI, and what are the things which are there inside agentic AI and as well as Gen AI, and what will be there inside Gen AI, how these things actually work, right? And yesterday's session, we have seen that what are AI agents, and how these work, on what characteristics they work, what are the core functionalities in that. So all these things we have seen. So for today's session, we will continue that, and let us start with the concept of perception in AI. Okay, so perception is a very important thing when it comes to AI systems particularly, right? So yesterday we have also discussed on a few things in that aspect actually. Now let us see what is perception first of all. So basically, perception is a process where it tries to gather the information and interpret the information. In a simple language, we can say, trying to extract the relevant information, right? Trying to extract the relevant information and process, right, accordingly to our, or you can say users requirement, right? So processing according to the user's requirement, whatever needs, or whatever goals we have, right? Whatever goals we have or whatever needs we have, based on that interpreting the results and getting the relevant data as well. So that is in where the perception actually comes into the picture, right? So it is basically adapting to the new scenarios and situations, and you can say new data sets, new informations, new upgradations and all those aspects. So now basic system of how AI perception actually works. It starts with data collection step, then it goes with the data collection in the sense right from the sensors. So if you are saying collecting the data from sensors, it is basically collecting from the IoT devices. So IoT is nothing but Internet of Things. So whatever data is collected using the sensors, all those are actually called as an IoT devices. So even we can say cameras, microphones, right? So many aspects are there where the data is actually collected, nowadays. So now next thing is the feature. Now is the feature extraction, where identifying the important features play a very important role. So next is the interpretation part. So interpretation is nothing but the whenever we build something, right? Whatever we have extracted, or whatever we are able to achieve, or whatever we are able to get from the process what we are trying to do. So in that process, whatever we are getting, whatever analysis it is, right, whatever features we have extracted, or whatever something it will give, right? So it will give some summary, or it will give some analysis. That is basically called as an interpretation, and then we make a decision from that, right? So based on the interpretation what we got, or we can say the results in a simple language, we can also say results. Yeah, it's a very easy to understand as well, right? So we actually take a decision. Now let us see the important types of perception in AI. So the important features are basically into visual perception, auditory, right, and then tactile and environmental. Now visual perception is nothing but through images, something which you can see, right, something which can be viewed, whether it is images, videos, right? So like for example, best example for visual perception is the self-driving cars detecting the pedestrians and traffic signals, right? So that comes under the visual perception. So next is the auditory perception. So auditory perception is through hearing, right, something which you can hear, right? So through like noise or something like that, correct? So for example, like the voice assistants, like the Copilot, Alexa, Siri, these are not visual. You cannot see the voice, right? You can only hear it. So next is the tactile perception, where it basically uses the robotic sensors to detect something, right? So AI powered prosthetics adjust gripping based on detected pressure. So something which can be detected or something can be felt, right? That is basically called as a tactile. So next is the environmental perception. So environmental perception is nothing but the surroundings. For example, like the temperatures, humidities, right? Motion sensors. So best example is when it we can talk about humidity. Humidity is a very important feature, right? Because sometimes the actual temperature might be different, but the humidity level might be so high that the real feel is different. So you would have experienced this actually, right? You would have experienced this, that the actual temperature might be looking some 30 degrees, but actually feel is around some 35-36 degrees. So you might feel bit of hot, heat in the atmosphere. So that environmental perception is what the sorry, that feel is what is basically called as an environmental perception. So smart home systems adjusting to the climatic control based on occupancy. So this is one of the examples. So now we can see the challenges when it comes to the AI perception. So here we have actually told that we can see, we can hear, right? So we have talked about that. But what if the sound is a bit distorted, right? What if the images are not clear, right? And sometimes privacy concerns. So there are a lot of challenges when it comes to AI perception as well. So this is what uh, the difficult part, right, in achieving AI completely into the real life. So now how we are going to integrate this, how we can actually integrate this AI perception into AI systems. For example, AI systems are nothing but something which can, run on its own, right? And so its ability to handle things, it is its ability to, work on its own, right? It can take decisions on its own. It can, run the actions on its own. It can collect the data on its own. So this is basically called as an AI systems. So how this can be integrated, let us see. So there are very much important 5 things when it comes to AI perception into integrating into the AI systems, right? So the 5 things are the sensor fusion and the data collection. So we have seen about this, but this is a complete understanding of how this can be actually done. So whether through microphones or collecting the data. So this is basically things like the self-driven cars, right? Whatever which uses all the sensors to do things, right? So next is the pre-processing and the feature extraction. So pre-processing is nothing but cleaning the data, right? Preparing the data for analysis. For example, when you want to best example I can say um, um, I can say is this noise reduction. I can say noise reduction. Uh, Maybe probably you might be using buds, right? So when you see a bit of costly buds, you can see there is a noise reduction inside the buds which stop that sound. So you can see your AI cameras into your laptops also, which now comes with noise reduction. So what will they do is they actually filter out the noise level which is outside a certain radius. So usually what happens is a camera with a noise cancellation microphone has around 1 meter of will have a radius of around 1 meter. Okay, so something, the voice coming from this 1 meter radius only, it will pick up, right? So when something happens beyond this 1 meter, right, 1 meter radius, it doesn't pick up that particular voice, right, and it will not include in the hearing part, or the video or audio part, right? So that kind of noise cancellation microphones are kind of available right now, and now it has become far more advanced, right? This is not a new technology, correct? No. So you can also see it in mobile phones as well. So it will try to reduce the noise which is outside a certain radius, right? So it has that sensors embedded into it. So the same way now, what is actually happening is they are trying to build more AI based sensors in such a way that it will be even more crystal clear, and even the small minute things are also not coming into the part. So now you can see AI based camera microphones as well, which are actually coming into the picture. So here, that is one thing, and one more thing is basically removing filtering, that already I spoke about. And one more example here I have taken is AI speech recognition, removing the background noise before converting sound to text. This is just a conversion. So yesterday I've given you an example also about speech to text. So that is one of the features of artificial intelligence. Particularly, it is basically a machine learning model. So integration with AI models. So AI models are basically used for medical diagnosis. For example, nowadays, if you see many of those, for example, Apollo website or something like that, they have their I can say their chatbot, right? So when you go to when you try to take the help of this chatbots, it will try to actually medically assist you, right? So that is what basically a chatbot is. So today, actually, before the end of the session, we will see a simple chatbot actually. Simple a chatbot which can be implemented in Python. Okay. So with a simple rule-based chatbot, we are going to see how we can actually, how a chatbots are actually built, like how it runs actually. Okay. I'll take a simple chatbot for, for you guys to easily understand. So next is the real-time adaptation and feedback loops. So here we can see that the feedback part, continuously learning, because it is very important, particularly like a chatbot. So chatbot, what happens is AI chatbot, it tries to learn what the user is actually trying to ask. For example, it has not learned or it has not been trained on what user is actually asking. For example, something new happens, it will try to contact the I'll just thank you for contacting, I connect with this person or something like that. It will try to answer because it is not there in its training part. So what happens is something which is inputted, right, it will train on its own. That is why they are called as AI chatbots. So they try to train on its own, and they try to give you the result possible for the future questions. So smart home assistants adjusting based on the occupancy. So it is very important. That is what example also I've given. One more example, that I was talking about the new LG air conditioners, which are actually launched I think in 2024 or 2025, 2024, I guess. So they have that smart, enabled sensors, AI-based sensors in them. So what these actually do is they try to, detect the people in the room and the amount of temperatures which is required, and it will adjust accordingly to the number of people in the room. So that is one thing, and one more thing is like energy consumption as well. So that is one of the features LG's R&D team, right, research and development team, has actually come up with. So you can actually maintain a agenda where your AC doesn't want to consume this much, not more than this much of electricity. So that features they have come up. I think that technology has been launched in 2025. So now things are a bit changed, right? So it's not like you'll be knowing that how much of electricity your air conditioner is actually consuming, right? How much of bill it will actually give you. So that is extremely powerful technology. What the AI systems are actually are capable of kind of right now. So next is collaboration with AI reasoning and action modules. So here we have a perceptual understanding, perception based on understanding that basically yesterday I was telling you also, it's all about logics, it's all about reasoning, right? So it's about conditional statements. So that is what the AI systems actually work, right? So they execute what you actually are giving as a task. So it follows the goal. For that, it will collect the information or it will collect the knowledge, right? And based on that, it will take some decisions, right? It will come to some conclusions to do a certain aspect. So in this way, things are working in that way currently in the AI market. So challenges, obviously, too many sensors, too much of load. That is one difficult problem, and sometimes errors in the perception basically leads to the incorrect results or wrong decisions being taken. So next is the latency issues. Real-time perception, demands rapid processing for immediate responses. So that is what latency issues are about. Now, let us see what is action in AI. Okay, so action indicates the execution part. Okay, so how a decision might be will be taken based upon the perception and the reasoning part, and how this action actually performs. For example, when it comes to the robotics, how the physical movements are done, and then the digital interactions in the chatbot and automated responses in the smart assistant. That means giving the reply or giving the I can say outcome, correct? No, giving the reply or giving the outcome or something which is executed, right? Something which is in the execution phase or which has been executed based upon a certain actions, right? Based upon certain actions and reasoning, this is actually taken as a decision. Now, the AI actually, this action, how it performs. This is basically processing the perception data and selecting the appropriate responses. Execution is where the AI carried out the action, such as generating text, moving a robotic arm, or activating a system. So feedback loop, AI evaluates the outcome of its actions and refines future behavior for them. So you guys know what is a feedback, right? So feedback is nothing but changing, taking the response from the other person, how it is actually performing, so that in future it can refine its processes, it can change, it can make a call on its movements and decisions. Okay, so next is types of AI actions. Now here for AI actions, we have three things, right? So one is the physical actions. So one is the digital actions, and the other is the automated decisions. So here we have, when it comes to physical actions, we have AI controlled robots, right? Which actually, one of the examples I told you also, which is the robotic vacuum, which is actually, I was giving you an example of Xiaomi's robotic vacuum, which is available in India. So when it actually moves, okay, it actually, if there is an obstacle or if there is any, something which is stopping it, it will actually identify it and it will, make the changes accordingly. So next is the digital actions. So AI generated responses, processes tasks, virtual commands and all. Best example, digital actions you can remember like the online customer care interactions, right? In the websites, like a chatbot. For example, like a Flipkart customer care also you can remember. It's an AI chatbot. So next is the automated decisions. So here, automated decisions means that for decision making we don't need human intervention. So we don't need human intervention to take a decision. That is what automated decision is about. So best example is the stock trading. What we do usually, it is like we set a certain mark. So to sell a particular product or to buy a particular product at a certain price, that is an automated decisions which will happen. So next is the challenges in AI action. So here we have the accuracy and precision. So basically ensuring the actions aligning with the intended outcomes. Then the real-time responsiveness. AI must execute actions actively, especially in dynamic environments. So that is in where it has to perform at the real-time basis. That is what real-time responsiveness is basically about. So next is ethical and safety considerations. So in this, it is very important that it should be aware of to take responsible actions. Okay. So now by looking at this diagram or a picture, so what can you think of? So basically, what can you think of? So it is actually a chart, right? So it is basically a chart which is sorry, it's a chart done with a bot, correct? No, so it is not a we are not based, it is not chatting with actually a person. It is actually an AI bot, okay, or a chat bot. That's why we call it as a chat bot. It's actually a bot, but since it is chatting, we they named it as chat bot, but it's actually a bot. Now here she has put some conversation, right, and the bot has replied according to what she was actually asking, and then again the person has replied to the person has actually replied to what the bot has actually again given, and then the bot and then again the bot has replied, correct? So what is the outcome for this? So okay, so now you might in this you might request a call, you might ask for a certain help, you might ask to raise a certain complaint or a request, right? So this is how actually a chatbot. Now I think every one of you would have at least used once, okay, in your lifetime, right? Because now chatbots have become very famous and it's being used everywhere, like literally everywhere. So whether it might be a customized call, even now you're getting calls from customer care about I can say junk calls. You're aware of that, right? So you're getting junk calls, asking about loan and stuff. For that, also they have actually automated the calls as well. So you actually get calls from the customer care. A few, not every call is automated or using a chatbot, but a few of them are actually calls made with a chatbot, right? So now let us understand what exactly is this chatbot about. Okay, so these chatbots are, a best example is the chatbots. They are basically agents. They are basically agents. What these agents do, or what these chatbots actually do. So they converse. Sorry. They converse. So they converse, whether it is through voice or whether it is through text. So they try to converse with you, correct? So what is the primary purpose for these chatbots? So the primary purpose is basically to provide the customer care or customer support. Sorry, let me just drink water and come. Just give me a minute. Okay, so let us continue. Right. So this basically these bots are something where this is basically used for conversation purpose, right? So something which you can actually converse, something which you can ask, right? So conversation includes everything, right? So we ask a certain questions. For example, when you say a few examples of chatbots. This example is I was telling you about the e-commerce support bots, like the Flipkart bot, right? So this Flipkart bot, what it does, it actually asks you that what you do. So this e-commerce bots are based on e-commerce or products, correct? No, because Flipkart, what it does, it sells products. So the chatbot will be trained on that particular aspect only. So now what will happen is when you ask about something else apart from the product status, or about a particular product, about what you have actually ordered, apart from this it will say that whether you want me to connect to a customer executive or something like that, because this chatbot is especially trained for answering the questions which are based upon your customer, or your orders, right? Or whatever products you're trying to buy. Mostly it will be on orders what you have actually ordered only. I've it mostly I've not tried much, but I don't think so it will work for other things apart from your your order status, why the order has been delayed. So everything which is related to orders, right? Why it is delayed, why it is not being shipped, why it is not delivered. So all these actually questions arise when it comes to this e-commerce support bots. Particularly, I'm talking about the Flipkart chatbot. So next thing is basically on the HDFC chatbot. For example, it's a banking bot. Now, here when it comes to a banking bot, you can imagine what a banking bot can actually does. So it has information about your, account details, your balance, maybe, right? The transactions, what you have done, your credit card bill, why this is, it may be not much of sensitive information. Also, might not be trained because that will again, be some ethical issues. So apart from that, I remember one or two times using a bank assistant. So it will usually actually, it will try to connect to a customer care, to a person, in the bank as well. It tries to connect to the person in the bank very fastly, right? So these are basically simple bots, I would say. These are not much of this website bots as well. Something information on that website particularly that will be there inside that inside that particular bot. So like best example is Zendesk bot. So these bots, I would say these are very simple bots. Okay, these are not very high level bots, because they just give you out the simple information. You can actually if you don't want to converse much, you can ask something which the bot cannot answer. Also, it could have you can just try that perspective. So it will say that I'll connect to the customer care, right? Or I'll contact you. The person from the customer care contacts you. So it is by bit of these are simple bots which are built to answer a certain questions for people, right? And something which is very easy. So, for example, you want to know the status of your order, right? So for particularly e-commerce, so it will tell you the status part, right? If you're not able to track, it will try to connect it. So next part, let us go to the next thing. So this is how chatbots are actually giving you the reply. So this is how the chatbots actually will be there. So now let us see what are the key features when it comes to a chatbot. So these chatbots are basically rule based or AI powered. These are two types of chatbots which can be there, right? And one more important thing is, obviously these are NLP models, because this also uses the natural language processing. So the way the question will be framed, the way the question will be actually asked, right? So it should be grammatically correct. It should have that subject and predicate, right? It should not be like something which the bots cannot understand, right? Because they are trained on simple English language, right? With the proper English language, which actually they can understand. So next is messaging platforms. Yeah, so I've given you enough examples on that. And then to answer the common questions, direct users to resources. So yeah, it's just a I just forgot to tell that word, common questions. Why? Because that is what I was actually telling you. It's very simple. Very common questions are very simple questions. That's why I was calling these bots as a simple bots, because these are not that complicated. So something which is very common, which is very simple, it can only handle those kinds of questions only. So next is the limitations is typically defined to a predefined script. Yeah. So whatever responses you want it to give, so that kind of responses only. Only that kind of simple responses only it will give. So may fail in complex unstructured conversations. Okay, so it usually they start with the simple question of what I can help you with, or good morning, how can I help you, right? So these are probably the most famous questions you will be actually seeing when we are using a simple chatbot. So next is next we will see what is a virtual assistant, right? So we have seen what is a chatbot, correct? Now let us see what is a virtual assistant. So here virtual assistant indicates that an independent contractor who provides administrative services to clients while operating outside of the client's office. So this is the definition, I can say dictionary definition of what is a virtual assistant. Now let us try and understand that what are virtual assistants when it comes to artificial intelligence. So they are basically you know these are basically, I can say, bit one level up than the chatbots. So you can say that chatbots are level 1, virtual assistants are level 2. Okay, so these are a bit advanced compared to the chatbots. So this actually these virtual assistants can actually answer uh, things bit on the higher level, for example, like the Google Assistant, right? So whatever you ask, it will actually try to reply, it will search the web and it will apply. So that means what you are trying to understand is what your understanding should be is these kinds of virtual assistants have the access to the web. They have access to the web. They are bit of advanced AI agents. So, they are a bit highly advanced agents which have the access to the web. But chatbot doesn't have access to the web. It only, answers questions based on certain. Sorry. So it will answer the questions based on certain level of training what the chatbot is actually provided with. But virtual assistants are not like that. Virtual assistants have the accessibility to the web. It will search for wide range of things, right? And it is able to connect you with the so many other aspects as well. So for that, virtual assistants are very much actually useful. For example, like the Amazon Siri, Google Assistant, Apple Siri, Google Assistant, Amazon's Alexa, we have Microsoft Cortana, right? So let us go to the next one. Yeah. So I think now you would have understood about what is a chatbot versus the virtual assistant. So let us see what are the important features when it comes to virtual assistants. So virtual assistants also uses the NLU, not the NLP, right? Natural language understanding, and then it has a certain characteristics like using from calendars, reminders. So all these things can be done. So I've given you an example of how if you have a certain meeting or something like that in your email, you can add it to your Google Calendar actually. So when you give a reply that yes you want to attend that meeting, so it will add to your Google Calendar and it will push you suggestions as well. So this is bit advanced. These are what the virtual assistants are about. So virtual assistants are also kind of AI agents. So privacy, so yeah, limitations, obviously privacy concerns, because it is actually exploring, or this is it is actually searching your private content. For example, like your email IDs, your messages, everything it is constantly checking, because then only it will be able to update, and it's going to give you the so obviously that thing, there is no escape. So you want AI integrated into your life, you have to give access to AI as well. So in order to understand how are things happening there, see, if you're not giving access to your email IDs, how Google Calendar will add a particular reminder to your Google Calendar? So it is not possible, right? So that is why it is up to us. It's a if we have privacy concerns, it's you cannot use artificial intelligence, because it uses data to create something. It uses data to generate something. It uses data to give you things. So obviously data will be used, so there is no such thing as privacy you know to your data. So leaking that data, breaching that data, that is up to the company how it is going to handle. But accessing is not completely breaching. Breaching can be done by the companies, not by the AI systems. Right. So now, before going into webhooks and APIs, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, I'll just give you a couple of minutes. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Then we'll go into the concept of webhooks and APIs. It's a very important concept. Yeah. So we'll try to understand that. So guys, please, if you have any questions, please you can ping. Yes, whatever question you have, you can just post it in the group, sir. I'll try to answer it. Okay, I think don't have any questions. I've not received anything. Fine. So I'll continue. I'll continue then. Okay, so let us try and understand now what is webhooks and APIs. Okay, so there is a certain aspect, there's a certain, please just don't raise the hand. You can just put your question in the chat. A few people are raising the hands, but you don't have the access to, talk and ask me. So you can just put it in the chat. I've been seeing actually a few people are raising their hands. Inside, you can just put it in the chat. I can reply. Okay, not unknowingly you're raising your hand or want to ask something you're not asking, but few people were raising even yesterday. I was observing, but you're not posting that in the. Please, you can post it in the chat. Okay, so let me continue as there is no question. So here there are two things. One is webhooks and APIs. So if you might be familiar with what is webhooks and what is APIs. So let us try and understand what is basically why these two concepts are very important and why we are actually discussing these two concepts here. That is very important. Why it is we are discussing. So first of all, we should understand what is agent communication. So agent communication is nothing but communicating with the external systems. That's it. So communicating with the external systems to get the job done, right? Or the to get the our goal done or our task done, correct? So this actually includes two kinds of things. So one is the APIs and one is the webhooks. Now coming to what is API first. So API is nothing but application programming interface. Okay. So this is nothing but a set of rules and regulations or a rules that a particular software actually follows. So for example, when you actually give some request, right, you get the reply because it is following some rule and you are actually giving a particular query. Best example is like a weather application. Yeah, I'll answer your question after this. So here you can see that it is basically like a weather application. For example, when you actually ask a query, right, or you put a query stating that you want to know weather of a particular city, right? So it is the you have a particular interface, right? You have a particular interface, whether it might be a Google weather app, right? You have one more, you have different weather apps, right? So it may be a Google weather app, or it might be any other weather app. So so in this weather app, you have a query to get a weather of a particular city, right? So to ask this question or to get your answer for your particular query, you need a interface. That is what basically an API is. So APIs are nothing but the interface where a particular thing can be requested or something which can be asked upon, right? So that is what basically API is about. Now APIs are in simple terms, right? So for example, the user actually wants to ask something, right? So whether you're browsing it in a mobile phone or whether you're browsing it in a browser or a mobile phone, anything. So you request a particular response, whether it let it be weather, right? Whether let it be weather of a particular city. Let us say weather of Hyderabad, or whether it is weather of Bangalore, or whether it is Chennai or Mumbai. So any city you just wanted to request the weather. So you request it, right? through a particular interface. That is what is called as an API. So that API actually connects to the web server, right? Which is actually connected to the database. So this application interface, programming interface, connects with the server. From there, it gets the request and it will respond to you on the application. That means you can see that, okay, Hyderabad, it is so and so temperature. Bangalore, it is so and so temperature. So what exactly is this API? API is a form of interface to get the work done, correct? And one more example, simple example I'll give you. Everybody will be using Flipkart application, right? The way, you can see things on the Flipkart is what the APIs are. That means something you can see out on the interface. You want to you order it, right? So there is a platform which is running, this interface that is basically called as a API. So now let us see what are these webhooks. So, okay, fine. So we understood, sir, what is API. Now let us see what is this webhooks. Webhooks are nothing but you can say, something which helps in triggering. Or you can say in a very simple manner is, you know, alerting you, right? Something which is alerting you at a particular scenario, right? For example, best example, let us say, this is not related to what we are discussing, but for example, let us say you have put an alarm in your mobile phone. So the alarm, for example, you're keeping it at 5 p.m. So the alarm will, go up at 5 p.m. right? So that is called as a webhook. That means triggering something or alerting something based upon user requirement. So, a very small example is what alarm I've just given you, but to understand, because that is not an application of AI. It's just an application. It's not an AI application. So how, let us try to connect to our AI application. So we can actually, something which we get in a real time as a real time update, right? So something which give as a we get as a real time update. For example, you can actually best example is the stock market prices. So something which will happen in real time, something you want to trigger at a certain position, right? You can just alert or trigger. Best example is, I can say for this is the Power Automate. Best example is the Power Automate. So you have Microsoft Power Automate. It's an automation function which will actually trigger when you actually give a particular thing. For example, we can take an example of an inventory. So for example, let us say we are selling monitors on Flipkart. So let us say people are buying the monitors, and I've set a limit that in my inventory, if my monitors are less than 5, okay, so trigger a alert. Okay, so so people are ordering, right? So once my so for this you need to use an automated function. Okay, so in that we are going to use these webhooks. So that is why these are basically AI systems. So that means it will trigger an alert stating that your inventory is less than 5. So what will you do? You will try to order the inventory in order to sell your products. So it is very important that we try to, as much as API is important for, for example, if you want to order a product to an application, you need an API. But in the background also, you need an event-driven callbacks as a seller as well. So it is, both ways these APIs are important, and as well as the webhooks. Now here you can see one more detailed example I have mentioned. So here you can see that the customer is actually sending a query or a request, right? And it is going to a chatbot, right? The second step is the chatbot. So the chatbot is not able to resolve the query, right? Because I told you, chatbot's ability is very minimal. Chatbot is not something which can, create miracles or wonders, right? That is not possible when it comes to a chatbot. So, okay, so that is not possible when it comes to a chatbot. So, this chatbot is not able to resolve a query. Then what it happens is it sends a request to the support system that this kind of query I got, please resolve it. Then what happens is it will notify the support agent. So the support agent will get a notification. I told you about the inventory. So if you use the Power Automate and you trigger an inventory alert, something which is the stock is less than 5. So it will trigger an alarm, or it will trigger. So the same way here, a notification will be raised, or notification ticket is raised. Then the agent actually solves it, because the support agent is nothing but a human being. He is not an AI person, right? So he is not an AI. So support agent is actually a real person. So he solves that and he gets the support team, right? And again, support team, now they have a support system sends a webhook again to for a CRM issue they got. Again, they will send a ticket to the CRM system or the CRM team. Again, CRM is nothing but the customer relationship management. Okay, so here, sorry, customer relationship management. Yeah, CRM. So again, the CRM team actually works on that, and they issue a notification and they solve the problem and give it back to the support system. So in this way, the support system actually gives back to that of the customer. So in this way, what happens is these webhooks actually work. So difference between webhook and AI, API, you might okay, I'll get to the questions. Now now I'm getting a few. Okay, I'll just give the answers. Just give me a minute. Okay, let me just tell this. Then I'll answer all your questions. By this time you would have already understood that what is a webhook and what is an API. So basically, what are these webhooks are? That's why I just mentioned this slide as well. It's a very easy way to understand, because we have seen what is exactly an API, what happens in APIs, by a very simple example. The same goes with the webhooks as well. Now, what are they exactly? It is a alert message sending server side application to the client side application. That is what webhook is. Then API is nothing but it's an interface to pass the request. Okay. So for example, it is a connecting interface. For a very easy and a very simple example, I gave you about Flipkart application, right? So Flipkart application is an API which connects the seller to you, right? You are ordering a particular product, you're paying for the particular product through that interface, right? And the order is going to the seller. So seller is actually sending you the product. Next is when is the request made. So it can be done through multiple sources. And for APIs, it is through the interface, right? The request is actually placed. So next is when to use each. So each of them actually have their own uses, right, or own way of actually implementing them, right? Best example is your webhooks are ideal when the app demands real-time updates. Then your APIs are ideal you use when there is a constant change server-side application. So how do they work? So webhooks are automated calls which are used to trigger from the server-side application. So APIs basically help in adding, editing, and deleting the items. So this is one more example of when choosing APIs and webhooks. So in the meanwhile, I'll just answer the questions. A few have actually come. So let me take the questions from the application available for new analysis purpose. Information serve, where mainly used to serve. Okay. Related to new analysis purpose, what is this new analysis purpose? I think maybe you're trying to ask me like for data analysis, I guess. This can be used. This is different actually. What I'm trying to, what we are discussing. This is not for data analysis purpose. This is way of actually communicating, or we can say, getting our goal reached. This is nowhere here. Data is actually, we are not collecting any data or something like that. We're not doing that. That already I have actually discussed on that. Next is communication with API. Is communicate with API. Okay, what does it mean? Is communicate with API. Please can you reframe? It's Priyanka. If you can reframe, it would be good. Not able to understand the question. Okay. So to alert, next is yeah, I think you have posted it. Okay. Means request and response from API. Yes, you can get the request and response from API. Yes, you can get it. It's an interface which connects to the entire background. That is why we call it as application program interface. The name itself has that meaning in it, interface. So next is alert to redeem rewards. Rewards. Okay. Rewards like the cashbacks. That I think maybe that could be the thing you're asking. Alert to redeem rewards near expiry date. Is it an webhook? Okay. Alert. Yes, it is a webhook only. Correct. Yes. Good. Actually, very good example you have taken it up, because something which triggers an alarm in the sense, not that mobile alarm sound or something like that, something which triggers an alarm. For example, I was telling you that when something I'll tell you, best example I was telling you, also easy for you to understand, is that Google Calendar, which is merged with your Gmail. So there you get an alert, right? 10 minutes before meeting, or 10 minutes before some activity. It's not just meetings, it is also about, I've seen even the train notifications. For example, you have train, if I book a train or if I book a bus, right? Even that triggers that message also before 10 minutes, that you have a bus from this place, you have a train from this place. So even it triggers for these actions as well. So something which triggers is basically a webhook. It's not an API, it's a webhook. Yeah. Sir, is compulsory to have chat bot, not bot, it is bot actually. So it's it is not compulsory, Priyanka ma'am. I think maybe madam, maybe it's our faculty. I think, yeah. So it is not necessary to have a chatbot. When you see the many websites actually nowadays, not everybody is having a chatbot. I've not seen every website having a chatbot, and chatbots are very rather than chatbot. I would say it is, if a company can afford it, it is better to have a virtual assistant. That is why I was explaining you about the differences between a chatbot and a virtual assistant, because it is good in a way, because this virtual assistants are more capable than the chatbots. So I would probably say that I would probably say that this virtual assistants makes more sense. But in your case, what you were asking, you can go with the support system. Yeah, it is fine. It is fine. But chatbot is just to gather the information. Somebody is looking for something like that. In that case, chatbot actually really helps that that particular company if they want to gather some information which a customer is actually trying to look for. So in that case, this is helpful. So while retrieving bank account balances via UPI, uses an API. Yes, actual balances will be, they most of them are trying to automate, but A few doesn't actually update on its own. Some, they try to update late at the later part. Okay, so that is there. That has always been the case, even with the new updated tools also. They try to automate a few things, but still the balance checking, the transactions, whether they have done, because if it is debited from one person's account, it has to be credited exactly the same amount to the other person. So mismatch should not happen. So yeah, all these kinds of things are there. So means and request and response from. Yeah, you can get it. Yes, you can get it from that. Okay, so you can post if you have any questions. We'll just go for a 5 minutes break and let me come back. Okay, so let us continue. I think no other questions, I guess. Fine. Then we'll continue. Okay. So next we'll go with the, this is one more picture actually, sending you about, making you to understand about the webhooks and the APIs. This is basically a chart, uh, which is, requesting the same thing, what I've actually explained to you, the same thing. So requesting the, request and getting the response. Okay. Fine. So let us go to the next concept, which is the decision making. Okay. So let us first talk about the rule-based conditions. Okay. So let us understand what is rule-based agents first of all. So rule-based agents are basically agents which actually follow explicit rules or a programmed rules. So something which is programmed, right? Because we all know that program is nothing but a logic, right? A piece of code which is following a certain logic. So something which is following a certain logic is basically called as a program, right? Okay, so that is basically called as a program. Now, a chatbot that responds with a pre-written answers based on a keyword detection. So something, giving a response based upon a particular keyword is what a rule based, because now you can see the advantages in this, which are the predictable and the transparent ones, then easy to implement, right? The limitations are basically poor adaptability and the can't learn from the new data, because this is just a set of rules and regulations on which it is actually depending. So let us see the rule based diagram. The first one is the knowledge base, then it goes to the inference engine, right? From there user interface, right? And from there goes to the rule editor, correct? Then the rule interpreter, and then the explanation module. So this is the process or the components which are actually involved in this rule based. So next is the learning agents. So what are these learning agents? So these are basically taking decisions or learning, right? Or building a model, especially on the basis of machine learning concepts. So something which uses machine learning algorithms, I would say, right, to make a decision or to do some analysis. Excuse me. So example is the recommendation agents, right? So recommendation systems which are actually used to recommend certain activities. So the advantages are they are adaptable and scalable and can generalize in unseen situations, right? Because they are built on a certain model, they can predict. So predictive analytics is actually part of the. So hard to interpret because sometimes the models can be a bit complex. And obviously, when we say machine learning models, obviously we are talking about the something which is in the form of a data, right? So this is how AI systems actually use. So the first important thing is the rule-based systems, right? Which actually follows only rules, like the rigid rules. Then they have the lack of adaptability. Then comes the LLMs. LLMs are extremely important. LLMs are nothing but the large language models. So these are very flexible and they are semantic also to actually process the complex relationships. Then we have the hybrid agents, which actually combines both logic and rule-based logic and the learning capabilities. That means these hybrid agents are basically mixture of both rule-based agents and the LLMs. So you can see, a small table I have mentioned for you to understand that. So rule-based and learning agents, adaptability is low for rule-based, and for learning it is high. And for transparency, rule-based it is high. Medium to low is for the learning one. And then we have the data requirement, which is none for rule-based, and it is very high for the learning agents. So setup complexity is very low and it is high for the learning agents. So this is one more, a segregation on a bigger picture. So how a rule-based actually is different from a LLM-based AI agent. So here we have seen learning, learning agents. In that, LLMs is one of the important models which is actually used, in the current day industry, or you can say in the current day market. So you can just have a glance. It is basically focused on what we have actually discussed only. So decision process is basically probabilistic in LLM, and rule-based is deterministic because it is based upon some set of rules. So if there are three conditions, these three conditions only should come. So rule number one, or condition one doesn't satisfy, it goes to condition two, or two is not satisfied, it goes to condition three. So there is a deterministic situation in that. It's basically a static output, I would say. But the LLM models are not like that. They are basically probabilistic natured outputs. So next is the flexibility. It is limited to predefined cases, cannot handle unknown inputs. So can adapt dynamically because this is actually based upon different kinds of inputs and different kinds of data. So like that, we have different kinds of, and even the computational requirements also, it is very low, low to medium, I would say, for a rule based, but for LLM, we need higher hardware infrastructure, particularly because we are processing, high level machine learning and deep learning processes. So use cases basically are just the rule-based chatbots like form validations and all. And for this LLM based, we have this conversational AI, Gen AI, content generation, AI powered virtual assistants. All these things actually come into the picture. Next, let us go to the next part, which is goal formulation and task execution. So goal formulation is nothing but having a certain goal in mind, right? So agent knows that what he has to do, right? So that is what is basically a goal-based agent basically is. So can be explicit, specified by the user. For example, like booking a flight, implicit, derived from context or learned preferences. A home assistant adjusting temperature automatically. The next thing is the 7 steps to goal setting. So there are 7 aspects which we want to use it for goal setting. So one is figuring out the goals. Second is writing down the goals. Then the third is considering how you measure your goals, right? Fourth part is, or the fourth step is preparing for potential obstacles, right? And then the fifth one is map out a timeline. 6 is create a plan and then monitor progress consistently. So following this goal setting in in a human being's life, the same thing we are trying to apply inside a AI system as well. So here you can see the plan of actions, what can be done, the same thing how we do in a human life. This is what happens in a human life. The same thing is actually being set it up for the AI systems as well, right? So identification, specifications, setting criteria, environmental assessment, planning actions, further planning. So this is what a step-by-step process what actually happens. Okay, so that is what goal formulation is basically about. So here you can see that, yeah, probably you might be seeing this. Okay, so next is the input for the user goals. Then we have the planning, right? Then we have the specialized agents. Then we have the tools or the APIs. Then we have the shared state. Then we have the monitoring part, and then it comes back to the output part. Okay, so this is one of the important aspects of it. So now let us see what is a task execution. So after setting a goal, the agent must plan and act, right? So in the planning stage, choosing the steps, actions to reach the goal. So execution part, carrying out the steps, sending API request, running functions may involve single steps or multiple step flows as well. So, for example, like scheduling a meeting, understanding the user's intent, checking the calendar, right? Send invites via webhook. So, all these things should be done, and then the task can be executed. So, next thing is how should yeah. So, how should the AI systems adapt its goals and actions? So now for that we have a certain things called using the probabilistic reasoning part. So probabilistic reasoning actually involves a lot of uncertainty in the models because probabilistic itself is uncertain, right? Probability itself is for the uncertain. So uncertain modeling or uncertain choices, updating the distributions. Then we have the reassessing the diagnosis part. So here again, we try to assess based upon certain contexts. So yeah. So next, let us talk about the core part of the agentic AI when it comes to what we're talking about, the execution part. So here we have different aspects because it starts with goal, right? It starts with goal orientation and then it goes with the tool usage, right? From there, it goes to the planning part, right? And then the self improvement, then the memory systems and the core intelligence. So this is how actually agentic AI actually performs. So if you have any question, you can just ping it. One of you is actually raising your hand. You can just ping it in the chat. That is what that is what my request is. Just ping it in the chat if you have any questions. I think some. Yeah, I'm muted. Okay. I think you don't have any questions, I guess. fine. Uh, Okay, so let us continue on this. Next is the strategic execution part. So this strategic execution is basically on the execution where the AI actually executes. The first step is the encouraging the adoption of data analysis, then identifying the use cases, then going with the selected areas, then auditing your capabilities, then narrowing down your choices, then implementing a pilot project on a small scale, establishing a baseline understanding, scale your AI integration, then complete the AI integration, build on the build on the implementation and improve, encourage the adoption of data. The last step is the build on the implementation and improve. So this is basically step by step procedure of execution of AI. So now let us go with some examples. Okay, some example chatbots. Okay, so we can you can see some of the examples. The first one is the food delivery bot, right? So in India, we are not seeing much of food delivery bots. Okay, so only thing you can see is like a chat bot. Okay, so only a chat bot on Zomato or Swiggy you can see, but you don't see this food delivery apps for food delivery bots in particularly India. So that is why I have taken a few pictures from the web, which actually is implemented in different countries. So you can see that here he's actually taking, or maybe you can say he's actually putting the order. Okay. So, and one more picture is this is how the food delivery bots actually look like, right? They have wheels, they have power in it. It might be electrical or it might be petrol or diesel. I think it's electrical, I guess. So they are having, they travel on the road and they actually deliver because address is actually processed. The location is actually processed. So this is how food delivery bots actually look like, right? So this is one more example that how a food delivery robot actually looks like. So we are not having these robots actually currently in India. We don't have it, but it has actually been implemented in many countries. Okay. So next example is the GitHub webhook for DevOps agent. So this is again one more DevOps. DevOps is nothing but operations actually. This is basically development operations. We usually say we have different kinds of ops, like for example, like the ML ops and all. So this GitHub actually has a something called as a Jenkins. Okay, so this is the assistant inside the GitHub. Okay, so Jenkins is actually a person who is an AI agent. We have to call this person as an AI agent. Okay, so he looks like a butler, right? So yeah, probably who follow English movies, particularly UK movies, you'll understand. A butler looks like this in the UK. So this webhook is actually for this DevOps. This is how actually the entire structure of a DevOps project actually looks. So the developer, and then they have the GitHub which is connected, and they have a container called as the Docker, and then the person who actually in between does this is a AI agent who is Jenkins actually. So this is actually a project, or you can say a Django project. It is DJNGO. It is not Django, it is Django actually. It is actually a Python framework. It's a Python framework which is used for application development. So next thing is the webhook for DevOps. So here you can see that he is the assistant, or you can say he's the AI agent doing things. So next is the customer support chatbot, which is actually based upon rule-based agent. For example, if we already have discussed on this rule-based agents. These are very simple agents which customer support chatbots are always very simple chatbots, right? So they are very simple in nature. It actually gives you only a few simple replies, not much. So you can see that what are the advantages of chatbots. We have already have discussed on the chatbots, but why again I mentioned, because of this rule based we are discussing about the customer support chatbot. So this is how an AI chatbot or a customer based, or you can say rule based chatbot. So rule based chatbot only follows a certain rules and regulations. AI chatbot follows multiple things, right? Right from not just replying, also using the data, getting the results and fetching, and replying based upon the scenarios. So this is again one more example of rule based versus AI, right? So here rule based is when you're asking, you've asked it for help. So this is just a simple chatbot. You're asking for it already knows because it's just an e-commerce one. So it is just asking for order status or return policy, which one you want. So if you select for order status, it will say that it is already shipped. If it is already shipped, and whatever the status is, it will actually update or it will give you. So AI based, it will check, here you are mentioning that how I can check my order status, or how may I know, or what is my order status. So it will check, it will use the resources, whatever are there, and then it will say that, yes, okay, so your order is in transit, and this is how you can receive your order in a 1 or 2 days or a few days. So already it is in process. So it even more elaborate also sometimes it gives. And I found this interesting, these two pictures. So I have taken this. Okay, so this is one more example of how AI powered versus rule based. So bot is telling how I can help you. So order status or cancel order or return cost. When will I receive my refund? Now it only can process 3. Okay, so which is order status, cancel order, and return request. When we ask for refund, it is saying, I am sorry, but I don't understand your request, but please select from the following options. So it has been only programmed to, or it is only given 3 rules which it has to follow. So when will I get my money back? He's asking. The bot is not replying because it is not understanding what he's trying to ask. That is just a rule based. Many of you would have faced this. Because it is actually a rule based bot, it is not able to reply. So when it comes to an AI powered chatbot, when you ask for welcome to capacity, how I can help you. Now when will I receive my refund? So let me check. Your refund will be processed and you'll get the money back within 3 to 5 days. So your Joe is saying thank you so much. So that is how AI powered chatbots can improve, or are more sophisticated or more user friendly, right? So next is the Netflix recommendation systems. So everyone, most of you would have been using Netflix, so you know that how the recommendation system works. So it is based upon the users, what kind of content the users watch, how much or what they rate, right? So based on that, recommendation systems actually work. So to understand how they work, this is a very simple example of how they work, right? So if you actually here you can see that a person is actually inputting, so user agent, and from the user actually there an input which is recommendation agent. So for that, it is actually interacting with the machine learning algorithm, right? And then it has the activity agent. So activity agent takes it from the repository, whether it is SQL or the cache memory. From there, it is interacting back, right? And it is giving a recommendation because it has built an algorithm based on that it has actually predicted. So this is one more simple example of how to understand, recommendation systems. It might be Netflix, it might be Amazon, it might be any kind of application. You can see the similar kind of recommendation system. Right. Okay. That's I think one. Fine. So next is based on the recommendations, based on the content, similar kind of content what people have watched. So based upon that, the algorithm works it out and it will give you or recommended or it will recommend the similar type of content. So next is Google Assistant booking a table. So here you want to book a certain table at a certain place. Okay. So the first thing is now the person has given an order to book a table at a certain restaurant at a certain place. Now what will happen is Google Assistant will call that restaurant. Now it is telling that, hi, I am Google Assistant calling to make a reservation for a client. So it asks that particular person, it will only call. So, it is saving your time. Maybe, that person is busy, right? And, you're not able to take the calls or you are busy. So instead you just ordered, your voice assistant to book a table at a certain restaurant and you can just leave it. So that will be taken care of the Google Assistant. So Google Assistant will contact that particular restaurant or, any place, whatever you want to make a reservation and it will book the appointment. So it will call and say that I'm Google Assistant. Okay, I don't know how many of you have actually tried, but it is very interesting and it is actually good. So you can actually use them. So next is next is a user is saying, the assistant is asking how I can help you. The person is saying that book my usual table. No problem, I'll reserve your table and update you soon. So based on the activity what the person has done, it will search and it will usual table. Maybe the person actually goes to a similar kind of restaurant, right? So easily it will identify and it will be booking that similar kind of restaurant and table for the person. So next is smart home agents. So smart home agents, many of you might be seeing at in movies as well. So basically, a smart home is nothing but something controlled by a AI system, right? Or which is actually controlled remotely is what a smart home is basically. So what happens when you have a connectivity with the, when you have connectivity is this can actually, connect with multiple, multiple areas, whether it is, energy management, alarm controls, temperature controls, right? So motion detection. So you would have seen by detecting your motion, the lights, get switched on, right? And the lighting also changes based on the activity you're trying to do. So room temperature as well. So keyless entry, maybe through face unlock or fingerprint entry, right? So all these are basically the, basically these and all are, smart connected things. Now let us see one conversation based on, simple rule-based conversation, a small simple chatbot. So, but before that, if you have any questions, you can just ask me. I'll just take a couple of minutes. You can mark your attendance as well. You can just ping me in the chat so that I'll be replying to your questions. Please check, sir. Attendance is posted actually. To set a goal in AI, again, we have to apply SE. SE steps. What does SE mean? SE is steps only. What? Oh, soft. Okay, okay. Okay, so to set a goal in AI, again, we have to apply software engineering. Yeah, we have to apply. Yes, 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 yes. I think you are from computer science background, I guess. Yeah, when you say, I didn't expect that SE is software engineering. Yes, yes, I got it, I got it. Yeah. So please, any other questions? After that, we'll see a simple chatbot and we will wind up. So if you have any questions, please ask. Not really. Not really. It is important to learn DevOps, but see, frankly speaking, yeah, no problem. See, frankly speaking, AI has a lot of things. See, that is the trickiest part. So it is not easy for us to learn everything. See, let us talk practically. So it is not easy for us to learn everything. See, AI has a lot of things. Okay. So if you say I have to learn everything, that is not possible. Okay. So if your kind of work, actually makes you or uh, pushes you to learn DevOps, yeah, probably you can actually take up DevOps. Even MLOps also is extremely important when it comes to the machine learning uh, aspects in AI part. So probably that's what, see, based on the scenarios and situations and the kind of adaptability, the requirement you have, probably in that scenario, probably you can take up DevOps. Yeah, because DevOps is completely a separate course, a separate structure. It is completely it's a big uh, it's a again different ball game. So yeah. So yes, please. Any other questions? Uh, if you have any questions, please ping me. We'll do one thing. Share the. What I'll do is I'll just share my screen. This chatbot. Okay. I think no questions. I'll just share the screen. We'll discuss on the chatbot. Right. So here you can see this is Python code. Okay. And here I have actually mentioned a very simple chatbot for your for your reference. Okay. So let us try and understand what is this chatbot actually is. Here I mentioned as small piece of code. This is Google Colab actually. Here I've actually given a small so here I've actually given a small piece of code for a chatbot, and this is basically a rule-based chatbot. Okay, so I can just put this as okay. Sorry. Here, the steps what we are trying to do is the first part is defining a particular function. Okay, so the function name is chatbot, and down when we actually call the chatbot, the first thing what will happen is it will print this statement stating that hi, I am chat simple. Type bye to exit. So in case if if you want to just say bye, right? You can say just bye. Okay. Now here, this is the first step, and if we are actually printing something that if it is executed while function, and here you can see that the user is actually trying to input something. That is what we have given. User is nothing but us. The next thing is if you type hello here, right? So if the user input is hello, so then the bot will reply stating that hello, how can I help you? So this predefined statements what we are giving is basically called as a rule based. That means whatever you give, that only will be executed. For example, here you have given hello. Okay, so we have only one. Here we have one option hello, and next thing is your name. That means we are asking the chatbot. So it is saying that my name is chat simple. So that is the your name is the second function what we can give. Then we are giving the third one, which is how are you? Okay, that is the third one. Then we have bye. So apart from this four actions, hello, your name, how are you, by. So only 4 actions we have actually given. That is why these are rule-based conversational agents, which are simple rule-based chatbots. Okay. So apart from these 4, if you ask something else, it will not print. The the if statement is it is gone to false. So then it will go to the else statement. So it will break this and it will go to the else statement. And now if you print something else, it will say that sorry, I didn't understand this. Okay. So it will say sorry, I didn't understood this. Now let us just run this piece of code. Okay. So here you will get a output stating that hi, I'm chat simple. Type by to exit. Okay. Now in this options, you can only print hello, your name, how are you? For example, if you print your name, okay. See now, when you print your name, what should be the output? The output should be I am chat simple. So that is what only we are getting. Now, if we print if you print how are you, so or if you type how are you, now it should give I am good, how about you, because that is what we have actually given. Now let us say bye. It will say goodbye, have a nice day, because that is what, and it stopped. Okay, that because that is the last else statement. Okay, so that is how the a simple chatbot actually works. So now let us go to the next one, which is again also a rule-based chatbot. Here, it's also the same thing only. Okay, not changed much. Okay, so here we have I have given some conditions here. Okay, so here this also we have named it as chat simple. So same again. If you put bye, it will say goodbye, have a great day. It say hello, hello there. How can I help you? How are you? I'm doing thanks. Yeah. So your name help. So something else. I'm not sure how to respond to that. Try something else. Okay. So now let us say I'm just running this. So let us say something you print out of the box. For example, let us say let me print Python. Okay. So now it is not what it is supposed to be asked. For example, like hello, how are you, your name, help. All these things are by, right? Apart from these conditions, we have given something else. So you can predict what the output or outcome can be. So outcome should be, I'm not sure how to respond to that. Try something else. See, that will be the output. Because that Python thing, we have not feeded it. For example, if you say help, now it will give that sentence. I can answer a basic question like greetings, name, and mood. Okay. So that is how this can be. So now if we give bye, it will go goodbye, have a great day. So like this you can build a simple a simple chatbot in Python. So this is a very simple, very simple chatbot, which you can understand in a easier manner. Yeah. So before we close out, if you have anything, you can ask me. Else part, yeah. So what will be chatbot AI? So chatbot AI, you can use it anywhere. You can use it anywhere in any of your applications or in your websites or something like that. You can use it anywhere. We are actually also seeing these chatbots being implemented everywhere in the websites, e-commerce apps, applications. Chatbot can be tried in Python prompt. Yeah, we can actually do it. Yeah, we can do it. Yeah. So we have one more actually application of chatbot in our FDP syllabus. I'll just take that one also. Okay. So probably day 4, I think it is there. So day 4 or day 5, I'll just, we just use that also. We just try that also. Okay. So, so fine. If you don't have any questions, we can wind up the session. May probably another 1 minute we can wait. Attendance link ma'am is posting. It is there. You can just fill the attendance link. Yes, yes, yes. Material will be shared with you. Yes, definitely. Explanation on LLMs. Okay, fine. I'll just take that also. Sure. Yeah. Thank you for your input. Yeah. Ma'am, we can wind it up.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, so dear faculty members, it's just a reminder, please mark your attendance as the attendance link is shared in the chat. As you all, 60% of attendance is very mandatory to get the certificates.
Fine. Go ahead.
So we can wind up for the day. Thank you all for joining. We'll join again by tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you all.